Welcome back to my channel. I'm James. Today I've got another exciting episode for you, and we're going to be deep diving into 5 upcoming 4K Ultra HD movies. The upcoming Chinatown, Godzilla and Kong: The New Empire, SHREK Forever After, Cry Baby, and Rango. All of these were sent to me early for review for me to dive into and test for all of you to let you know the quality of these. Now in today's video, I'm going to be doing some of my exclusive 4K versus Blu-ray image comparisons on some of these exciting 4K releases. As always, I'm going to share all the testing data and my review scores at the end to sum up the total quality of each and every one of these 4Ks to let you know if these truly are something you should buy and something you should add to your collection. Now, as I've shared in some recent videos, due to my severe chronic pain that I live in, I'm condensing these a little bit more to give you the same amount of great content, condensed a little bit more to get you all of the data and facts that you need to know about the quality of each and every one of these, just in a more condensed format in one big video episode. So you get all the content you need, so that way I can still review them just in a more condensed format. And that is why all of these are condensed into one big video, so that way I get you all of these reviews that are coming up. Now, it's always extremely important if you decide you're gonna buy or add any of these 4Ks to your collection after you get done watching my reviews. Always make sure to go down to those direct Amazon sale links I posted as a pinned comment in the comment section right below this video. Those links down there are extremely important to the creation of these videos. You see, I'm not paid or sponsored by any of these companies. So even though I get something sent for review, they don't pay me to do any of these reviews. So the only way I can always continue to create all this content and spend all this time testing, analyzing, and doing all these exclusive image comparisons is through you, my viewers and subscribers' support, by always using those direct Amazon sale links right down there below. So if these videos have helped you out and you've enjoyed them over the years, always make sure to click on those direct Amazon sale links I posted right down there below. Now to start off with here, I'm going to show you my previous Blu-ray release of Chinatown. Now the film did come out in 1974. The previous Blu-ray release was rougher. It had lots of tears, spotches, blotches, little hairs on it, and overall the Blu-ray release was a big upgrade over previous DVDs and VHS before that, but the Blu-ray was just not an immaculate or beautiful transfer. Now I'm happy to report for its 50th anniversary, Paramount went back in its Paramount Presents line and did a brand new 4K scan and meticulous restoration of the original camera negative. In the press release, it was very specific about that they did not use any of the old and poor masters or Blu-ray transfers for this brand new 4K restoration. They went back and did all new work with new scans of that original camera negative to make sure that they were providing the best image quality they possibly could in this 4K release for its 50th anniversary. Now, along with that, Paramount did share they did a massive amount of film damage repair work. They went back and went through meticulously to get rid of those hairs, splotches, blotches, little rips and tears that appeared in the film, also doing color grading work to make sure that with the brand new Dolby Vision and HDR10 color grading and master, it presented the truest and best looking color grading for this image as well. I am happy to report on this 4K release, it is a native 4K, and I can tell you between the Dolby Vision and HDR10 layers, Dolby Vision was only about 5% better looking skin tones and colors overall over the HDR10, but both of them were implemented beautifully. And I will tell you that's where you will notice right away a big difference in this new 4K restoration versus the previous Blu-ray. Image quality wise and color grading, it's nice that they brought new and much needed life to the image. It never goes into color bleed area. It just looks lifelike and alive again, just like I could have imagined it was when people saw it back originally in cinemas in 1974. It has much needed life brought to this that was completely missing in the duller look of the previous Blu-ray release. Now, I am happy to report this does have a nice fine layer of natural film grain from beginning to end. Now, the film grain's not perfectly stable. There are fluctuations and there was some slight digital noise, but it's very slight and you have to look very hard for it. Overall, though, it does have a very nice and natural filmic look. Now, if you followed me here on my channel, I did review previously Once Upon a Time in the West. That's one released in this Paramount Presents line as well. Now, in that release, the restoration work they did on that is very nice in comparison to the previous Blu-ray release of Once Upon a Time in the West. Well, I am happy to report this is the next step up. This does have much more noticeable film grain than the very fine film grain that you had on Once Upon a Time in the West. I will tell you though, this does have some softer scenes due to camera lenses and filters they specifically and intentionally used when they created this film to give it its noir look. It does have some scenes that more or less have a hazy glow to them that are softer looking. Those are never going to go away no matter how many times they scan the original film elements. Those will always be present because that was how it was intentionally made back in 1974. Now, Chinatown does have very nice depth and detail in the image, far surpassing the softer Blu-ray release that just really lacked a lot of depth and detail because there were so many issues with damage and film grain was so unstable between that Blu-ray that it just really was a poor transfer. Thankfully on this, you do have nice depth and detail throughout it that you will notice right away. You see things that you never saw in the previous Blu-ray transfer. You notice a lot more in their clothes, hats, faces, and hair that you could never see before. Now, talking about the audio, it does have an English Dolby True HD 5.1 audio mix. It's very clean and clear, and it is slightly louder and did sound slightly clearer than the previous Blu-ray release, so I did notice that and did enjoy the audio mix. Now, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to go down and give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Now, showing what you get in this, it does come with this limited edition casing. Now, this is in Paramount Presents limited edition line. It is number 45, and it does come with this very nice slipcover. I do like that. These do sell out, though I do say these do take time to sell out, but usually the Paramount Presents lines, a lot of these do sell out because they are limited editions. In this, you do get 2 Jakes on Blu-ray as well as a bunch of special features, including new ones, talking about the film, going in depth about the film. I will tell you the 2 Jakes is on a separate Blu-ray, and that's the sequel to this film. Now, inside here, you do get the 2 Jakes on a separate Blu-ray, and you get your 4K Ultra HD. I did test it, it's 100% region free, and it is a BD100. Now, I did dive into and test out the rough average bitrate for you. It has an extremely high, healthy, and strong 82 megabits per second. I was very surprised at how high of a rough average bitrate this has, and that lends to why it has a nice filmic image from beginning to end. And I will tell you, it was one of those very strong rough average bit rates that I very much enjoyed. Now, getting to my review score. For Chinatown on 4K Ultra HD for the first time ever, this gets a stellar 9.5. It's a must buy. You need to buy, add to your collection, and enjoy this for many years to come. This is one of those noir films that is really engaging. The characters, you get really wrapped up in their lives and what's going on. And the time period Chinatown is set in, I absolutely love. The cars, the clothing, the dresses the ladies wears, the suits, and the hats. Man, I absolutely love that time period. Shines through wonderfully on this beautiful native 4K transfer that is really one of those really good upgrades over the poor, just old Blu-ray that really does outshine that Blu-ray in every single area of the image that you'll sit back and just say, wow. It is such an enjoyable experience to see this with this really good 4K restoration that Paramount provided. So Chinatown gets a stellar 9.5, and this is a must buy. If you decide you're going to buy and add this to your collection, make sure to use that direct Amazon sale link right down there below. This is one of those that I was very surprised at how nice it did turn out. Let me know in the comment section below, have you seen this film before? Are you excited for this upcoming 4K release now? Next up, we have Godzilla, Kong, the New Empire, the 2024 Monsterverse action sci-fi adventure film. I really feel like they're getting bigger and bigger with the special effects and the stories in these, but they're very enjoyable, and I do have a good time just sitting back, more or less a popcorn flick you don't have to think too hard about. But you just have a fun time, and the special effects are very enjoyable and the sci-fi elements mixed together really well. Now, due to that there was no Blu-ray included in this set, I was only able to test out the 4K release for this, but I can tell you I have some good news for you. This is a native 4K 2160p, and it does have both Dolby Vision and HDR10. Between both of those, I really couldn't tell much between the two of them. They were both very similar and they were implemented wonderfully well. They really do look good with the many shades of colors and the brilliant whites, inky blacks. They do shine through really well on this 4K transfer. Now, due to time, I can't get into the whole story about how unique it was, how they created this film, specifically with the CGI and 35mm elements, and how they actually created film grain doing it that way, combining the CGI with the 35mm to have a natural film grain look from beginning to end for this film, and it does look very good. It actually changes a lot of the CGI elements to be more lifelike and almost gritty looking because of how they actually created this, which is different than a lot of the films have been created before with CGI elements. A lot of those take you out of the film because they get very smooth and almost waxy looking. Then it goes to a film element where you have film grain and you kind of notice it in the element, and then it goes back to waxy. This doesn't have that effect. It is pretty darn cool if you have the time to research it, how they actually created this, because it does have natural film grain from beginning to end, and it does look very nice and stable. And this is one of those very filmic looking images. I had no issues whatsoever from beginning to end. No banding, blocking, digital noise. Overall, it's very stable and a very enjoyable 4K transfer with strong depth and detail in the image that you'll notice from the opening shots all the way through to the end. I really enjoy how they created this because I really think it looks pretty darn good. Now, talking about another treat we get in this upcoming release, it does come with an English Dolby Atmos audio mix. It's very strong and clear with constant and consistent use of your height channels. I will say it will give your height channels a workout. You can hear numerous things throughout it. It is one of those that has some very good LFE throughout it as well. And I will say, overall, it is one of those extremely enjoyable Dolby Atmos audio mixes that lends to the film and actually sucks you into it, makes you feel like things are going on all around you with very good range. And it does really set you inside the film, which is what I'm looking for, is the Dolby Atmos experience to make me feel like everything's going around me and above me so that I feel very immersed in the film. This does a very good job of that. Now, showing what you get in this, it does come with a limited edition metallic slipcover. I do really like that. Side, it says Godzilla Kong. Back, it talks about it. Tons of special features on here. It does come with a digital movie code, but it is just a 4K set. And inside here, you do get some advertisements for some comic books and your digital code. And then this is your 4K disc. I did test it. It's 100% region free. Now, I did dive into and test out the rough average bitrate for all of you. I'm very happy to report it has a very high, healthy, and strong 79 megabits per second. Another wow experience. They did not overcompress it or shove it on there so that way it didn't have plenty of room to breathe. Obvious by the high average bitrate, it gave it plenty of room to breathe, which is why it lends to such a very good filmic looking image that really has some great depth and detail in it. I was very much enjoying this, even more so than in my cinema experience. I felt like the audio mix was quite softer at cinemas than it was on this 4K release. And I will tell you that's where I noticed and enjoyed it quite a bit more on my home cinema system than I did in theaters. Now, if you want another recommendation of another big monster creature feature that I've reviewed on this channel, you'll want to check out Meg 2. If you haven't checked out that one, I do feel like it really fits in the universe of the monster universe. It's just really over-the-top, fun, sci-fi, action, adventure, fun creature feature. And I did that review here previously on this channel. If you haven't checked out that one, it's available right now as well. But that is another recommended big action, adventure, sci-fi creature feature film that got a very good 4K release. Now, getting to my review score for Godzilla Kong: The New Empire, this gets an amazing 9.6. It's a must buy. You need to buy, add this to your collection, add this to your Monsterverse collection. Now, I will put down below the limited edition 5-film collection as well. I did get this one in early for review, and this is the single one, but there is a 5-film collection that has all 5 films up through now. It's a limited edition set only. I'll put that direct Amazon sale link down there below, as well as the individual release if you own the previous films like I do. But I will say this is one of those that I was very much surprised that it was a big upgrade over what I saw in cinemas, and I enjoyed it more so on my home cinema than I did at the theaters. What a great job Warner Brothers did with this one. Amazing release, 9.6 a must buy. Let me know if you saw this originally in the cinemas and if you did think it had a quieter Dolby Atmos mix. Let me know if you're excited for this upcoming release. It does come out in about a week and a half to 2 weeks from when this review video will be up. But this is another one. What a great release. We are really getting spoiled with some outstanding 4K releases. Next up, we have Crybaby from 1990. Now this is the John Waters, Johnny Depp film that's become a cult classic. Now for this 4K release, it is a native 4K created from a brand new 4K scan of the original 35mm camera negative. And it has a brand new Dolby Vision and HDR10 master. Now for this 4K release, it does have the natural film grain present. But the film grain is not exactly stable the entire time. It does have fluctuations, and it does have some blocking, which is caused by the digital noise that appears and is most noticeable in a lot of scenes that have plants or grass in them. You'll notice basically fluctuation and almost flashing, and then some blocking that appears in grass and some of the trees, and that's where it's most noticeable when you're paying attention. Some areas it becomes a little bit more heavy, and you kind of notice it flashing at the bottom parts of your screen quite a bit more. That is where I did notice, as far as the image goes, it's not an exactly perfect viewing experience, and it's more inconsistent throughout. And I can't say it's a perfect viewing experience because of the fluctuations, some of the flashing and flickering, and some of those issues with the digital noise that's stronger in some areas that does cause some of that blocking. It's just a slightly uneven viewing experience. Now, talking about the audio on this, it does have a DTS HD Master Audio 2.0, and it was good and enjoyable, but not amazing. And I won't say it had amazing range either. I would have liked to have seen a new 5.1 mix. I would have loved Dolby Atmos, but I would have even liked just a 5.1. It is a slightly quieter audio mix. I did have to turn it up quite a bit louder to be able to hear it. And again, it just doesn't have great range. So overall, it's just one of those that's good, just not something that I'm going to say was really just amazing sounding. Now, I did dive into the rough average bitrate for all of you. I am happy to report this has a very strong, high and healthy 89 megabits per second. So they did a good job with the rough average bitrate. It's just all of those other things that are present from the digital scan and things that they did could have used a little bit more ironing out, because those were things that kind of I just noticed even more so without having to be slightly nitpicky. It was just something I noticed that I could see easily, and even my wife picked it up, that she could see it easily, and she's not one that tests and reviews everything. She just sits and watches them and enjoys them. But she did notice the blocking and the flashing and the flickering and all of those digital noise issues. She did encounter those as well, and said that it just kind of took her out of the viewing experience a little bit more. Now, if you follow me here on my channel, I previously reviewed Rolling Thunder. I had some similar issues, not everything the same. Rolling Thunder had some obviously black crush issues, but it had some other issues with digital noise and blocking. Those are similar issues I encountered on this one as well in certain areas. So if you haven't checked out that review or you've gotten that release, some of those same things you'll encounter on this one. Now, getting to my review score. For Crybaby on 4K Ultra HD, this gets an 8.4. It's one of those, you have to decide how much of a fan of the film you are. It is an upgrade over the previous Blu-ray, and it is a nice improvement over the previous Blu-ray, but you do have some of those other things that you'll encounter when you're watching it, and if you go into it expecting those, you'll still enjoy your experience and think of it as a very nice upgrade over the previous Blu-ray. I just would have wished we would have gotten a 5.1 audio mix, so that way that would have been a massive improvement audio quality wise as well. But that's where this stands. Audio, image quality, 8.4. Next up, we have SHREK Forever After from 2010. This is one of my personal favorite SHREK films. I actually really liked all the elements they combined, all the characters they brought back, and the story beats they used. I really thought that this was a fresh take for SHREK, and I enjoyed what they started going in this route with this, different than the previous SHREK sequels. Now, for this upcoming 4K release, Universal did a brand new 4K digital restoration, along with an HDR10 master. I can tell you the HDR10 on this was implemented beautifully. And it adds to animated films just the depth that you can see with the beautiful colors. And I will tell you the colors on this are absolutely vibrant and beautiful, far surpassing the previous Blu-ray release in every area. That you'll notice it actually kind of makes the previous Blu-ray release look dull almost, and almost grayed out, even though it's not. I mean, the previous Blu-ray I really enjoyed. That honestly, I was surprised at how much better this really looked. Depth and detail, really is pronounced in this compared to the previous Blu-ray as well, because in 2010, the CGI advancements for what they were doing for the Shrek films has advanced so much farther than even what I reviewed in my previous SHREK 2 review. If you haven't checked out that review on this channel, I did an exclusive 4K versus Blu-ray. And I own and have tested all of the previous Shrek films on 4K. And I can tell you, you can see advances in the CGI and the work that they did going from the first Shrek all the way to the fourth Shrek. And I can tell you, this is the best looking Shrek 4K that has been released yet. And I can tell you, I love the slipcover artwork they did on these and how they all match. So if you want to get them individually, I'll put the direct Amazon sale links for each and every one of these individually, as well as the box set. But I'll point this out right now, and I mentioned this before. The box set does not have any of the Blu-rays, you don't get the individual slipcovers, and you don't get the individual artwork. That's only in each of these individual sets. And I do like the individual sets more, especially because it has a Blu-ray for my kids. But I thought I'd point that out. I'll put them all down below for you. That way, if you want to get them individually or all together, they're all linked out down below. Now, as far as the 4K image on this, it does look outstanding. And it has brilliant whites, inky blacks, no black crush, and there was no instances of digital noise, banding, blocking, or any issues I encountered whatsoever from beginning to end of this film. It is a pristine and beautiful looking 4K transfer for a CGI animated film from 2010. Now, there was a slight change that Universal did for this Shrek film specifically. They gave us a Dolby Atmos audio mix. The previous Shrek films that I've reviewed all had DTS:X audio mixes. I can tell you I did notice that this is the clearest, strongest sounding, and does have the best range of any of the Shrek films that I've reviewed yet. That'll be reflected in my review score as well. You'll understand when I get to that. But I will tell you, overall, it used the height channels extremely well and throughout the entire film. Numerous scenes throughout it just made a smile creep across my face because I said, man, I really felt like the implementation of the Dolby Atmos was better than the DTS:X in the previous Shrek films. And it was surprisingly immersive, something I didn't expect to be as immersed as I was in this. It really was enjoyable and just was one of those you sit back and have a really good time and made it feel like watching it for the first time all over again, even with that Dolby Atmos implementation. Now, showing what you get in this, it does come in this nice metallic limited edition slipcover with some embossing on it. On the side here, it does say Shrek Forever After. It talks about it on the back. You get a digital movie code, plus all of your previously released special features and your 4K disc. Now, inside here, you get your previous Blu-ray disc and your new 4K Ultra HD. I did test it. It is region free. Now, I did dive into the rough average bitrate for all of you. I'm very happy to report it has a high and strong 73 megabits per second, lends to why it looks so good. And that is one of the highest rough average bitrates, I think, for any of the Shrek films that have been released on 4K yet. And that's why I said, as far as image quality and sound quality goes, this is the best looking and best sounding Shrek film on 4K that's ever been released. Now, getting to my review score for Shrek Forever After on 4K Ultra HD, this gets a terrific 9.2. It's a must buy. You need to buy, add to your collection, and enjoy for many years to come. This is the final iteration I see of us getting of these Shrek films is on these 4K releases. And they are truly the best way to experience these films. The HDR10 implementation and the great Dolby Atmos really are massive improvements and upgrades over that previous Blu-ray in every area. Sound quality, image quality annihilates the previous Blu-rays. You'll sit down and say to yourself, for a CGI animated film, wow, I can't believe the depth and detail that I got to experience, and that implementation really gives it an almost 3D experience to your eyes and your mind, which really lends to why this is such a nice 4K transfer. Now, let me know in the comment section below if you're excited for this upcoming 4K release now that you've heard my review score. Now that we've gotten all of the original Shrek films on 4K, we now can finally have the complete collection of Shrek films. I'm thrilled because I absolutely love this family comedy series, and it deserved these 4K releases that it's gotten. Thankfully, they've all been terrific and something that we can enjoy for many years to come. Now, I've put the direct Amazon sale link down there below for each of the individual releases, just like these, as well as for the box set where it comes without the Blu-ray copy. So depending on which ones you want to upgrade to, I put those all directly down there below. Next up, we've got Rango from 2011. This is the Johnny Depp, Gore Verbinski CGI comedy animated film that is highly underrated. If you have not experienced this film, it has amazing humor. I love the story in it. Harkens back to some really great Western tropes, and I will say it combines it wonderfully well together. I even love the hidden scene with Clint Eastwood's character from the Man with No Name trilogy. I really love that implementation and how they combined all those elements together to create such a really cool universe that makes this film stand the test of time. I enjoyed it more so watching it on this 4K release than I've ever enjoyed before, because the depth and detail in this really looks nice. Now, Paramount did a brand new 4K digital restoration for this release with a Dolby Vision and HDR10 master, and I can tell you that is where you will notice a massive improvement right away over the previous Blu-ray release. Because of how good they implemented that for the CGI film, you can see depth and detail in that CGI animation that was lacking on the previous Blu-ray. The previous Blu-ray was good, but it was in certain areas you just couldn't see depth and detail in that CGI animation and backgrounds, or in like the scales on the lizard's face. I couldn't believe how much detail I could see on his face. From the opening scene, I was just like, wow, it really does have strong depth and detail, far surpassing what the previous Blu-ray had. Now, there is one thing that was slightly disappointing though. The way it was originally advertised in all of the advertisements of the pictures, it said for the theatrical and the extended cut. Well, this is only on 4K for the theatrical cut. Basically, the way it showed it on the original advertisement, where it had 4K Ultra HD first time, limited edition, and it said theatrical and extended cut. Well, basically in the fine print, it's only the theatrical cut on the 4K disc. The extended cut is only on the previous Blu-ray disc that's included in this set. The theatrical cut is still amazing, and I will say after seeing how amazing it looked on this, I do really wish we would have gotten the extended cut on 4K as well, because I can't ever watch the extended cut after how amazing it looked on this 4K release for that theatrical cut. Now, something I did encounter is the Dolby Vision layer versus HDR10. Dolby Vision was roughly 10% better colors overall. Just the look of it looked better than the HDR10 layer. So that is my preferred way to watch this. It was just noticeable enough that, like I said, it was about a 10% difference, and man, I will tell you that Dolby Vision layer is really beautiful looking. Now, for this 4K release, we do get a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 audio mix. It's very clean and crystal clear sounding. I had no issues with the image or with the sound from beginning to end. A very beautiful and pristine looking and sounding 4K release. Now, in the US, Paramount is only releasing this in a limited edition SteelBook set. There's no standard set planned, it's only limited edition in the US. It does come with a very nice slipcover. I love these clear slipcovers, how it changes the artwork from his character at the beginning all the way to his character at the end. I really think that's a nice touch. It's very shiny metallic. On the side it does say Rango. On the back it has other artwork. Now inside here, it does have artwork on here. On the inside, this is your 4K Ultra HD disc. This is your Blu-ray. It did test your 4K. It's 100% region free. Now I did dive into and test out the rough average bitrate for you. I'm very happy to report this has an extremely high, healthy, and strong 80 megabits per second. Lends to why it looks so darn nice and is a massive, healthy improvement over the previous Blu-ray in every single area. And I was very surprised at how nice of an improvement it was. Paramount did a very good job not overcompressing this and giving it plenty of room to breathe, which lends to why for a CGI animated film, it gives you that perceived depth in the image with the HDR10 and Dolby Vision implementation that makes your mind almost feel like it's almost a 3D image. To that CGI animation, I was amazed at how much detail there was in that CGI animation that they drew every ounce of it out on this 4K release over that previous Blu-ray. Now, getting to my review score for this highly underrated and wonderful CGI comedy film, this gets a terrific 9.2. It's a must buy. You want to buy this, add this to your collection. If they would have included the extended cut on the 4K disc as well with the 4K restoration, it could have gotten a slightly higher review score. I got dinged a little bit because I was disappointed with kind of the advertisement and the way that was done originally. Hard thing is now, once you see that theatrical cut on this 4K disc, you'll have a hard time ever going back and watching the extended cut on the Blu-ray disc, because it is just such a cool experience that really lends to why I enjoyed it so much more than I ever previously did. My kids watched it with me and it was their first time experiencing this. They laughed, but I was really amazed at some of the humor. I even missed the first couple of times I'd watched this. There's so much hidden humor and references in this that really lends to why as an adult you can watch it over and over again and really just enjoy it. If you love basically Gore Verbinski's films, there's even references if you remember Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Heck, at the beginning of the film, pay attention because Johnny Depp's character from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas appears at the beginning. There's so many little nods and references that are really cool that really make this such an enjoyable experience as a film. And this is the best way to ever experience it. I absolutely loved the way this looked, and I will say this is one of my favorite limited edition steelbooks. What a beautiful limited edition steelbook set. Do not miss out on this. Do not wait. I put that direct Amazon sale link down there below for you to order this, but I will tell you this gets a terrific 9.2. It is one of those that's a must buy you'll enjoy having in your collection for many years to come. And I will say that this is one of those that did surprise me how cool they did with the artwork. It's very metallic. It has like these almost flecks behind it that you'll see that kind of give it a almost 3D sheen to it. What a cool job with this limited edition steelbook. I really enjoyed this one. Now, it's always very important if you decide you're buying or adding any of these 4Ks I reviewed to your collection, always go down and use those direct Amazon sale links I've pinned as a comment in the comment section right below this video. Those links down there never cost you, the viewer, a penny extra to click on them. But what it does is simply when you click on them, it shows your support of these videos, and that goes directly back into the time, the software, the creation of all of these, and all of the hard work I put into these videos. So always make sure to support these videos by clicking on those direct Amazon sale links down there below and joining my Collectors VIP Club. Collectors VIP Club is very important as well. When you join that, it only costs you $1 or $2 every month, less than the price of a cup of coffee. Heck, less than the price of a pack of gum nowadays. You can support the creation of these videos. So if these have helped you out and you've enjoyed them over the years, always click on those links down there below and join my Collectors VIP Club. I want to say thank you to every single one of you that has supported this channel by joining my VIP Club and using those links. You're extremely important, and I really do appreciate every single one of you. Make sure to start the conversation in the comment section below and let me know what of all of these in this massive review video that you're excited for. Are you disappointed in some of these like I was? As always, I truly hope all of you have a blessed day, and I've always got something new, early, exclusive, and exciting coming out very soon.